Netflix came under some incredibly hot water specifically yesterday, as cancel Netflix wound up trending on X, especially after Elon Musk wound up speaking out publicly against it for a whole host of different reasons, mind you. I believe it started with the fact that a new Netflix show is now featuring a transgender main character, which of course upset a lot of conservative viewers. But then over time, over the course of all day yesterday, more and more people were doing research on Netflix, and more damning evidence and information was being released about them, to the point of where it all culminated to this trend of cancel Netflix, people posting screenshots even. I'll show you that in a little bit here, of them canceling their membership. But first I want to point out some of the damning evidence that came out of Netflix invoking DEI at the expense of possibly white people here. This was a graph that was posted on X by the libs of TikTok, where they state that it appears Netflix openly boasts about discriminating against white people. In their inclusion and diversity report, they celebrate that the percentage of racially underrepresented directors and lead characters has been growing significantly over the past few years. And you can see that right here on the page in the middle in the text. In 2023, of the 63 series creators of Netflix series programs, 73% were white and 27% were from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. Of all creators in 2023, 9.5% were Black and African American, 4.8% were Hispanic Latino, 6.3% were Asian, 1.6% were Middle Eastern North African, and 4.8% were multiracial, multi-ethnic. Compared to 2022, 16.8%, and 2018, 8.4%. So it is indeed on the rise from 8% to 16% to now 27%. It goes on to say Netflix featured significantly more underrepresented creators in 2023. And you can see all the graphs here. Netflix in the red on that bar graph below, the industry standard being the yellow represented bar graphs. So they are actively pushing for this in a DEI sense. It's not about merit is what the problem is here, of course. And you can see on this page right here as well, it goes even further. Percentage of Netflix series with an underrepresented lead and co-lead. And you can see the year by year there, 25% to start in 2018. But in 2023, 71.4% with an underrepresented lead or co-lead. Now, ironically, if 71.4% of Netflix series have an underrepresented lead, then how are they underrepresented anymore? That's the new question now, isn't it? You can see under that, percentage of series industry-wide with an underrepresented lead, and even that's been growing, 22% in 2018, 58.1% in 2023. So once again, the majority of circumstances now of series in industry-wide standards as well as Netflix have an underrepresented, and I say that in quotations, an underrepresented lead or co-lead. And you can see here all of this got quite the response from conservatives on X, ultimately leading to it catching the attention of Elon Musk. Once again, of course, going back to the transgender agenda, which is what he ultimately wound up retweeting here from another page, but he does specifically call for people to cancel the Netflix. And he says, do it for the health of your own kids. And then when you scroll down, you can see the meme that he's retweeting, the Trojan horse full of transgender woke agenda being brought right into your kids by Netflix. This, of course, did wind up leading to a mass cancellation of Netflix memberships yesterday. You can see here, this is a culmination of just a few screenshots from people posting it on X of them actually canceling their Netflix accounts. And ultimately, this wound up having a massive effect on Netflix's stock, which dropped by over 2.5% yesterday as a result of this. Elon Musk's tweet leading the charge on this, of course. You can see it actually got media attention on CNBC right here.
Welcome back to Fast Money. Netflix shares falling over 2% today after Elon Musk urged his followers on X to cancel their subscriptions. Musk taking issue with the presence of a transgender character on one of the streaming platform shows. He posted, "Cancel Netflix for the health of your kids," this morning. Our Steve Kovac has more on all of this drama. Steve?
Oh, boy, here we go. Look at the power of an Elon Musk tweet, Mel, because The targeted rage of that tweet and of his fans and followers, they sent Netflix shares down 2% today after Musk spent part of his day tweeting about that Netflix show called Dead End Paranormal Park, which features a transgender character. It's an animated show, by the way. Now, I think you guys can see where this is going. Musk called on his followers to cancel Netflix and said he already did so himself. He also criticized Netflix's DEI policies and pointed to it as another reason to cancel the service. There's also a lot of Charlie Kirk talk being thrown in there as well. Now, look, Dead End Paranormal Park, it was actually canceled back in 2023 after a 20-episode run of the show in 2022, so about 3 years old. The show is still hosted on Netflix like any other canceled originally programming Netflix has made. Now, it appears that the X account called Libs of TikTok discovered the show and posted about it on X, which drew Musk's attention and anger. Now, Variety reporting today, the creator of the show said he's been receiving anti-Semitic and homophobic comments following Musk's post today. Variety also reported he had to take a social media break to all the comments and harassment he received from Musk and his fans. Now, Netflix did not respond to a request for comment, but here you go again, seeing the richest guy in the world, Mel, playing around in the culture wars.
And I love how they also give the page Libs of TikTok a shout out. I discovered this page because of the death of Charlie Kirk, sadly, where I was outraged at what I was seeing when it came to the liberals celebrating his death. They were devoted, this page, and still are devoted, to tracking down these people and dealing out consequences, legal ones, of course, i.e. getting these people fired from their jobs. I've been following them ever since. And speaking of them, as according to that report on CNBC, they posted this. This was some interesting facts here regarding a lot of companies and businesses, but Netflix is listed in here when it comes to election contributions. Netflix, of course, donated $4.4 million all to Democrats. Surprise, surprise. And when it comes to just how serious the woke agenda is being pushed by Netflix onto your children, possibly when you're not around, and just in general onto everyone in the American public, in a true tone-deaf manner, by the way, because we're past that point now. Like I said earlier in this episode, that woke political correct stuff died back in November when we voted in President Donald Trump, but Netflix continues to push it anyway. Benny Johnson, a very prominent conservative right-wing political commentator, actually really does a good job of dressing down Netflix here very well and pointing out just how woke Netflix has gotten and why you absolutely should consider canceling them. I'll leave you off with him making his statements because he wraps it up all perfectly. Be sure to subscribe, of course, to American Advocates for more content like this, unless you're still one of those people that just insist on Netflixing and chilling, because I don't know about you, but these days I rumble and chill. That's my preferred method for that. And I typically prefer to watch channels like Steven Crowder on the Rumble or The Crucible instead of Netflix series that feature transgender main characters. But maybe that's just me. However, if you're still watching those Netflix shows, be sure to dislike this video and never come back. But without further ado, Benny Johnson.
Why this Netflix cancellation campaign has gone so viral, with hundreds of thousands of people canceling their Netflix subscriptions, including Elon Musk, is the #1 trend in the world, and Netflix has lost billions of dollars in their stock. You can see right here, an absolute collapse today. The reason why this is actually happening isn't your standard red versus blue political issue. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a moral issue. Have you seen what Netflix has been putting in their children's shows? This isn't like we're trying to push one way or the other. We want Democrats to win. You know, we want like everyone like socialism. Like, it's not like that, okay? Open borders even. It's so much worse. They're sexualizing children. It's got to be the single most radical thing you can do, the single most morally indefensible thing you can do. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to play you all the clips. I'm going to show you what they're putting into their programming. That's why this has gone so viral, because Netflix has truly crossed the line. If you believe that this is wrong, you should also cancel your Netflix. Okay, here we go. Here's the mashup of every time Netflix has put transgender, sexualized, radical ideology into their children's programming.
How about you break out those moves for your two biggest fans?
I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Non-binary?
People who aren't female or male. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am.
My apologies. Please switch therapies.
I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place.
It's Cherry Chet reporting from the wedding of the year. Everyone's favorite karate instructor, Sensei Dave, will be marrying mixed martial arts champion Jiu-Jitsu Joe.
He's the undisputed champion of my heart.
Everything okay, Fred?
Well, the last time I saw my grandma, I used a different name and pronouns.
Cancel your Netflix.